The story of Peter, also known as Simon Peter, is a central narrative in the New Testament of the Bible. He was one of Jesus' 12 apostles, a key figure in early Christianity, and a prominent leader in the early church. Peter was born as Simon, the son of Jonah, and worked as a fisherman alongside his brother Andrew in the town of Bethsaida. His brother Andrew was the first to meet Jesus and brought Simon to him. Jesus looked at Simon and gave him a new name, Cephas, which means Peter in Greek, translating to rock. This name would later have significant meaning for Peter's role in the church. Peter quickly became one of Jesus' closest disciples. He is often depicted in the Gospels as passionate, outspoken, and impulsive. Despite his human flaws, he had a deep loyalty to Jesus. One of the most famous stories about Peter occurs when Jesus walked on water during a storm. Peter, wanting to demonstrate his faith, asked Jesus to command him to walk on the water too. Jesus agreed, and Peter began to walk toward him. However, when Peter became afraid of the wind and waves, he began to sink. Jesus reached out to save him, saying, "You of little faith, why did you doubt?" Matthew 14:22-33. In Caesarea Philippi, Jesus asked his disciples who they thought he was. Peter boldly answered, "You are the Messiah, the Son of the living God." In response, Jesus praised Peter's faith and declared, "You are Peter, and on this rock I will build my church, and the gates of Hades will not overcome it." Matthew 16:16-18. This statement foreshadowed Peter's future leadership in the church. Peter's loyalty was tested on the night Jesus was arrested. Despite earlier declaring he would never betray Jesus, Peter denied knowing him 3 times, just as Jesus had predicted. After realizing what he had done, Peter was overwhelmed with guilt and wept bitterly. Luke 22:54-62. This moment of failure was a turning point in Peter's life. After Jesus' resurrection, Peter experienced a powerful moment of restoration. On the shore of the Sea of Galilee, Jesus asked Peter 3 times if he loved him, mirroring Peter's 3 denials. Each time, Peter affirmed his love, and Jesus commanded him to feed my sheep, John 21:15-17. This act symbolized Peter's forgiveness and his call to lead the early Christian community. After Jesus' ascension, Peter became a key figure in the growth of the early Christian church. In the book of Acts, Peter is shown preaching the gospel boldly and performing miracles in Jesus' name. On the day of Pentecost, Peter delivered a sermon that led to the conversion of 3,000 people, Acts 2. He was instrumental in spreading the message of Jesus to both Jews and Gentiles, breaking down the barriers between them. One of Peter's most significant contributions was his vision, Acts 10, in which God showed him that the gospel was meant for all people, not just the Jews. This vision led to the acceptance of Gentiles into the Christian faith without requiring them to follow Jewish customs, a decision that transformed the church. Peter's death. According to tradition, Peter was martyred in Rome during the reign of Emperor Nero, around 64 AD. It is believed that Peter was crucified upside down because he felt unworthy to die in the same manner as Jesus. His death marked him as a faithful servant who ultimately fulfilled the role Christ gave him as the rock of the church. Legacy of Peter's story is one of transformation. He went from being a simple fisherman to one of the most influential leaders in the early Christian movement. His life illustrates themes of faith, failure, repentance, and redemption. Peter's legacy lives on through the teachings of the New Testament, and he is venerated as a saint in various Christian traditions. He is often considered the first pope by the Roman Catholic Church, symbolizing his foundational role in the establishment of the church.